Seasalt journey.
Hello, my name is Makanaka, Shakira, Dzinoreva, and this is my journey with the Seasalt Mentorship Program. My dream, for as long as I can remember, was to always study nursing, and I was blessed with with the opportunity to go and study in Malaysia. However, after 2 years, things did not go as planned, and I had to take a gap year around September 2025. I decided to come to Cape Town and stay with my mother, and my first Sunday here, I visited Hillsong Church, West Coast. Here I met my mentor, Malcolm Freeman, and my sister's always been a part of the church, so she was in the community and she got to hear about the Seasalt Mentorship Program. She then came with this to me and told me to try it out. I was very hesitant at first, and I decided to, and Malcolm told me to come for a day and just see what it's about and then make my decision after. So I went there the first day. I wasn't too sure after the first day. I went home, I still wasn't too sure. I slept on it, and then I decided that, I should go back with an open mind and an open heart and just see what it's about. So the next day when I went, I got to see a little bit more of what Seasalt was about, which wasn't only the practical side, the sewing, the hands-on side. We got to go out and do some outreach with the Blowberry Road Tract Club. This is when I instantly fell in love with Seasalt, because if anybody knows me, they would know I love helping and I love giving back to the community. So sit back and just enjoy as I show you my journey with Seasalt. Here are some of the first projects I was a part of. Okay, I'm back again. In the last couple of clips, you just saw us visit Kaizizwe. I'm not so sure if I'm saying that correct. The name still confuses me till this day. But yeah, we visited the creche on that day just to see how things were running and how things were working. And I actually saw the jungle gym that the past Seasalt students had put up there, and I was honestly so amazed. The moment we arrived, the kids' faces lit up with joy, and that really stayed with me. It was so amazing to see how something as simple as our presence could bring so much happiness to them. It reminded me that even the smallest acts of showing up and caring can make a big difference in someone's lives. And then next we visited Silverleaf Primary School, where we did a tree planting activity. I'm not really somebody who likes mud or digging or the dirt, but I really found myself enjoying the experience. We learned so much about trees and had the chance to also interact with the kids, teach them what we had also learned about the trees, and it made this experience truly meaningful to me. Fast forward, we then went to a primary school called Fikey's, close to Atlantis. Here I got to learn some mini cricket skills from my mentor, who also happens to be a professional cricket player. I got to be the kids' coach. I got to guide them during their games and support them along the way. And anyone who's experienced this knows it is not an easy task. It tests your patience, literally teaches you patience, and yeah, it's really not easy, but it's truly rewarding because of the lesson that you gain from it. During this time, I learned how different backgrounds and upbringings can affect different people's behaviors, and it just taught me the importance of being patient and trying to understand the reasoning behind each and every person's behaviorisms and characteristics, especially when dealing with kids. This experience also helped me discover my love for working with kids. I know, quite surprising. It played a big role in my decision to then further go into babysitting and au pairing, which has not also been an easy journey, but you know, one step at a time, baby steps will get there. And I just got to learn that I find so much joy in guiding, supporting, and just spending time with kids. While we're still on the topic of cricket, one of these days they were having some cricket matches there in Cape Town, somewhere in Cape Town at the stadium, and my mentor actually invited me to go and watch one of the games. And this was honestly such a surreal experience for me because I'd actually never been to like a professional game except for soccer. I'd never gone to watch a professional cricket game, and I definitely enjoyed it to say the least. It was amazing. The other activities that I got to help with were collecting food parcels at Bayside for the less privileged. That was nerve-wracking to say the least. It was very difficult, you know. It also teaches you to come out of your comfort zone, which I guess is what sea salt is all about. It teaches you to, you know, go out there, put yourself out there, doing things that you never thought you would do. And this specific one really taught me rejection therapy because you know you have to stand there, you have to try and get donations from people, and not everyone is nice when they see people trying to get stuff from them. You know, some of the older people would be like, well, I'm also old, who's gonna give me a donation? And I'm like, well, you know, yeah. But I really enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed it. I can't say I would do it again though, but it was different. It was a different experience. And then I also went for the marshalling with the Cape Town Marathon that was supposed to happen last year, but it ended up being cancelled due to weather problems, I guess. I was very excited, and I was very, very excited, and I was very gutted when it got cancelled, but I definitely grabbed the opportunity that then came when we had to marshal for the cycling marathon, and that was amazing. I enjoyed every second of it. Did not enjoy waking up at 3 a.m. though, but I enjoyed every other part of it. I got to interact with so many people from the Blowback Rotary. I got to make so many connections through that. I got to meet so many amazing people. Dirk actually came to pick me up and take me there, and I was very appreciative of that. I got to have conversations with him, and yeah, it was just amazing. I loved it. I got to meet Graham, just amazing people. So I think my journey with sea salt in terms of finding what my niche was or finding what I enjoyed doing was a bit difficult because I wasn't really into the leather work, I wasn't really into the sewing, but I did gain an interest in the sublimation printing because I had an amazing friend to teach me, and that was Verushka. I enjoyed that, but I sat down and I just remembered when I was younger, I used to love watching people make resin products. So I went to Malcolm and told him my idea. I was like, I want to try resin. I want to try exploring with that. And to my surprise, he went out. He got me everything I needed to start up. And I basically taught myself using YouTube and all that. I just basically put myself out there, which is also something that Cecil teaches you. I got to learn how to make products basically. And with that, I opened my own small business and I decided to call it M Crafts. And yeah, I make keychains, I make little trinket dishes, I make resin coasters, and that is something I very much enjoy. And the benefits, I get to make a business out of it and get to make a little bit of an earning out of it. And we also got to go to markets, sell some of the products that we have, and I also got to sell my resin products, which I was very, very excited to do. And it was just amazing. Me with my faith and Christ hasn't been an easy one, but it has definitely been meaningful and full of growth. There were moments of doubt, questions, and challenges, but through it all, I've come to understand that every step was shaping my relationship with Him. Over time, I felt this deep calling in my heart. It felt like the right moment to fully surrender my life to Christ and intentionally grow spiritually. So on the 16th of November 2025, I made a big and scary decision to get baptized. Making this decision was both big and a little bit scary, but it was also one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It was just the most beautiful and powerful choice I've ever made, to be honest. It symbolizes, for me, actually, let me say for me, it symbolized a fresh start and a public declaration of my faith. The day was incredibly special, not only because of my own experience, but I also got to stand alongside some of my friends and church mates and witness them also take the same step. It made the moment even more meaningful, knowing that we were all on this journey together. And then fast forward to a few months later, some of my other friends also got baptized, and I got to experience that with them, which was honestly so surreal. It was beautiful, it was wonderful. I also had the opportunity to attend the Sisterhood Conference, which was truly inspiring and uplifting. Being surrounded by so many strong, faithful women created such a powerful atmosphere. I learned so much, felt encouraged in my walk with Christ, and left feeling renewed, motivated, and more connected to my faith. And I'd really love to say thank you to whoever it was that got me that ticket to go to the conference, because it was honestly so amazing and I appreciate it so much. I'm truly thankful, and words cannot even describe how happy I was to be there, honestly. Looking back, I can see how much I've grown, not just in my beliefs, but in my understanding, my strength, and my purpose. This journey is still ongoing, and I know there's so much more ahead, but now I walk forward with more confidence, faith, and trust in God's plan for my life. So, with that being said, I had to make the decision to kind of go back to school, and honestly, that was also not easy. I really had to pray, look for God, ask Him for guidance because I didn't know what was the right thing to do and what was not. And I just encourage everybody watching this to just, find God because honestly, for me, it's been such a beautiful experience. He's helped me through everything that I've been through, honestly. But basically now I've decided that I will be going back to school here in South Africa, and I honestly can't wait for that journey as well. It's a new beginning. Without God, I wouldn't have been here, and I'd really love to say Sea Salt and Malcolm Freeman and the Hillsong Church as a whole have really helped me in my growth and shaping the path for my life. And I'm very thankful and I appreciate that so much. Another thing that I love about Sea Salt is that you don't just get to learn, the hands-on side of things. You don't just get to learn making stuff and all of that. Every day is a test in that place. Like every day is a challenge. You learn something new every day. All the workshops that Malcolm gets us through, it's a different lesson every single day. You get to learn conflict management, which is something that I actually didn't know that you really need in the future, or not even in the future, but just in everyday life. And I got to learn that through the Sea Salt Mentorship Program. I got to learn how to be a better person. I got to learn how to be the bigger person and how to understand, or at least try to understand why the next person is like so and so and so. And I also got to learn how to take everyone as they are and appreciate them as they are. And with that, I want to say thank you to Malcolm Freeman and the Sea Salt and all the Sea Salt members that have been through this journey with me. You've all taught me so much that I'm going to forever take on with me as I go through life. And this is Maka signing out. Bye.
Alrighty, any questions for Maka?
About the conflict management, who was the most, I don't really mean, but who was the most difficult person to work with and work out your issues?
Well, for me, in my journey, I didn't really have that many people where it was like, okay, I had a difficulty working with, but then there was obviously one specific moment where with Melanie, there was a lot of misunderstandings, and it was a very prolonged situation, and because of that, that led to many more conflicts with other people, but all of that was just misunderstanding, miscommunication. So yeah, I'd say Melanie.
If you had to look at all of the workshops, which one stands out to you and why?
I would say the chairs workshop stands out to me because the first time we did it, I think it was very much yellow, I think. I'm not too sure, I don't really remember. But in that, like at that time, I was very much in the yellow chair. If it wasn't the, I don't think yellow or the green, I'm not too sure, I don't really remember. But after that workshop, that's when I felt encouraged to actually pull Melanie to the side and try to communicate with her about all the issues that had been there. And then fast forward, we did the workshop again, and I actually learned something about myself. I learned that I was very much becoming a person who was always in the red chair, which is something that Malcolm pointed out to me. But at first, obviously, I was like, no, that it can't be like that. And then I actually sat down and thought about it, and I was like, okay, yeah, so this ABCD, that's what I need to work on. So yeah, that was the workshop that stood out for me. It's fun.
So besides the Melody situation, what was your most challenging moments of sea salt?
I would say my most challenging moments were the moments where I had to navigate a certain situation that had happened between me and Verushka, because as we all know, she's a very special friend of mine. And in that moment, because of all the misunderstandings, things were getting mixed up and we weren't understanding each other, and it was just a difficult moment to navigate. And yeah, that was, yeah. Okay.
So speaking of Verushka,
Mhm.
let's keep Verushka out of this conversation.
Okay.
Keeps up as well.
Okay.
Who are your closest people at sea salt?
Well, I assume I can't say my brother, so obviously I know you've been waiting for this. I would say Sean. Yeah, Sean is also been one of the closest people to me at Zizo. And Zizo. He's always buying me stuff. So, yeah. Actually, and Tina, and Sparkley, and Spilele. Yeah.
And your brother.
Yeah.
And your highest moment at sea salt?
My hardest moment.
Highest.
Oh, highest moment. Well, the sisterhood conference was my highest moment at Sea Salt. Even though it wasn't in Sea Salt, I got to be there because of Sea Salt to a certain extent. I think, yeah, that was definitely my most memorable moment.
Obviously, you had to navigate a relationship whilst doing this as well, with a student from Sea Salt as well. How have you navigated that, and how do you feel you did with that?
How have I navigated
And what did you
that?
learn?
Okay. So obviously at first it was very difficult because it's not just about us who are in the relationship, but it's also about everyone else that's around us, considering we're in a work/school environment. So we kind of had to learn to get out of the shell where it's just like, it's like comfort zone, because you know that's like your person. So I had to learn to get out of that comfort zone and try to build other relationships with everyone else around me, because in reality those relationships were very much needed and necessary. And till this day, I think most of those relationships that I made after making that decision to get out of that bubble have been some of the best relationships that I have.
Any other questions? Going once? Yes.
Of course.
So if you had to choose a career path out of the fields of sea salt, sewing, coffee, what else? Sewing, did I say that?
That works.
Okay, yeah,
Leatherwork.
from the sea salt
Yeah.
stuff. I honestly wouldn't pick anything, because I don't know if I can say childcare was part of sea salt, because it's not really an everyone thing. But from the sewing, leatherwork, I wouldn't really pick anything. There's some stuff that I enjoy, like sublimation, but it's not something where if I sit down, I can think of myself doing for the rest of my life. It's not something, something like that. And of which, when I think about my future and what I'm going to be doing in terms of careers, I think about something where I don't have to dread waking up every day in the morning and be like, oh, I have to go to work now. So I would say something in the childcare line. Yeah. Not a teacher though, but something along those lines.
All right. So I think, Maka, from what I've seen throughout, your confidence has grown massively throughout, and I think your self-awareness is probably the biggest thing. To not be harsh. When you came in as a princess, I want to say, and now you know you're a princess. In a way, but you also know and see how that affects other people around that, and I think that's an important thing, an important skill to have, and I think you do have a lot more clarity on where you want to go and what you want to do. So amazing. Any last question? All right, that is Makanaka Shakira.